How long have you been working for Rudolf Stingel?
First time I worked for Rudolf Stingel was like 2008 when we made the other work in the other room, like the footprints which are on the wall, which is a bronze cast with the nickel plating on it. That was the first work I did for him, like 2008, 2009.
And tell me something about, then you told me before that the technique that you used to produce these pieces is quite different. So how did this come about, and what kind of technique is it? What is the difference between the two techniques?
Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but like to try to make it short, it's this is an electroforming or electrotyping is the term, and it's a technique where it is possible to be much more precise than in lost wax casting, like which is the normal standard casting process. And this is an electroplating technique which plates a layer which is stable enough to be self-standing, while normally an electroplated surface is like on the footprints, a layer on something and just plates a different metal on another underground, which is either plastic or another metal. And in the electroforming, we form that long that the layer is thick enough to be self-standing after we take the negative down. So this is something I proposed to Rudolf Stingel when he approached me with this Celotex panels work the first time in 2009. He asked me basically to cast them in bronze, like we did the other one. And coming from bronze casting, I'm like educated as a bronze caster, a foundry technician. I kind of knew where the difficulties would be, like as well in the size of the panels and in these very perfect flat surfaces, and with the lost wax casting process where you have to make first like a silicone mold and then a wax, and the wax you already need to make some retouchings on the surface because there's like small bubbles and small mistakes in the wax, and the wax is maybe not completely flat. And then you make like either a ceramic shell or like a chamotte shell, and then you put the wax into that, you put it in the oven, you flip it around, you have you burn basically the mold, and in that time small cracks can appear, and especially with flat surfaces, cracks can appear, and so after you cast, you again have to work over the surface, which again is like another intervention. So when Rudolf Stingel came to me with these panels, which are natively these Celotex panels, it's a completely industrial product where the audience is like leaving marks. I thought it would be much better to preserve that very moment of nobody touches it except the audience. While if a bronze caster would have done that, then, or like if we would have done it in a bronze casting process, then we would have touched the surface quite a lot. And I wanted to prevent that and be much more precise. So that's the other reason, like the precision of this, like normally this technique is used today just for jewelry or to make the stencil to press vinyl records. So like the groove and the vibration in the groove to make the music is transferred in this technique. So it's the most precise material transformation you can actually use in. And that's why I proposed to do that. And then it took me really long to actually develop the process. It's another story. So it's
Can you show us some of an example of where we can see this precision?
Yeah, I think it's very visible, like on like where's the mix between the foam, like from the original panels, which used to be like aluminum foil coated polyurethane foam boards for insulation materials, and if people would scratch the surface, then this foam would appear, and like the aluminum foil would be like kind of wrinkled and like get this like tiny small. So the difference between like untouched and like the panels have like 1,200 millimeters times 1,200 millimeters. The difference between the already polished surface to the rough surface. That's not existing in a bronze cast, not like that. Like normally you would always have to polish the surface to reach that level. And as well, just these like super tiny wrinkles, or that you even can see in the lower here, somebody used probably a marker and marked something in here, and it's still visible. These are things which they get lost in the process. So we had, after, like they're produced in copper, because this electroforming.